Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned, Bhante, that we also need to do mudita to people whom we don't like, or
Difficult, challenging
difficult or challenging people. What if it's a person who has personally done you harm? How can we process that, or turn our feelings of resentment into mudita?
people. Okay. So now we don't have a problem with his achievement, right? Our problem is with the harm over there.
Yes.
Now the person is doing well now, as you say. Maybe he or she is going to
Maybe
achieve
doing
certain
well in
things.
life,
So we
yes.
shouldn't have a problem with regard to being happy for that achievement. But the problem is the harm he or she done to us. That's why we are staying away from those people. So Buddhism asks us to stay away from the people who can harm us just to make our safety. That's number one. But still we cannot hate them, because they also deserve that what you call our loving kindness, in particular our see that achievement.
Okay.
So you don't have to say, you are not going to call and then congratulate them, you can't do that.
No.
But now it's been a bit of separation, maybe a temporary or long term. What Buddhism asks you to do is that you need to process that achievement within you.
Okay.
As I am happy for the achievement, definitely he or she is skilled for that, deserve for that. But for us personally, we have an issue. So that's always there. That's why I'm staying away from them. But for that achievement, you have to internally create mudita.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you have mudita for you cultivate mudita.
I have to. I mean, you have to cultivate it internally.
You have to cultivate
Because you have to process it, even though you don't talk to that person, because you heard it, you saw it, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's a process. It will take time, but that is what we are supposed to do.
Okay. So separate what you feel. I mean, how you feel about the person from the achievement.
No, the
itself.
problem is with how to negotiate with that person. That is your problem, right? And you can't do that. That's why you are staying away. You have no problem with the achievement. Achievement is achievement.
Okay.
Right? There's no problem with regard to that. Yes, he or she may have done it, and I have to sincerely accept within me. I'm happy for that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. That's a very good, interesting point. Yeah. Yes, Jelly.
Bhante, this morning you mentioned about something, mudita and karuna.
Mm.
Is it okay you elaborate more? I like to know more about something, because how does this, when I have compassion, have karuna, but then can you say more about
Interesting. Now, in the Pali Suttas, the Buddha is clarifying to us that although you start these Brahma Viharas one by one, maybe one for long term, maybe another for long term, in the end, you have to practice them simultaneously. That means Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha together. That is the ideal level. Why? Say for instance, I want to practice Metta, right? Then I do practice Metta. When I practice Metta, can I only practice Metta for those people who are suffering? No. I have to practice Metta to all living beings. Then Karuna is going to be a part of it, suffering people, right? And then Mudita, when I practice Metta, can I just set aside the people that I don't like for their achievements? No, I have to bring them as well. How are I going to bring them into Metta? Through Mudita, right? In that way, Metta involves the other three as well. Then Karuna. Now, what I said in the talk was that when you practice Mudita, it balances unnecessary levels, extreme levels of Karuna. Why? When you are feeling compassionate, sometimes it might outpour, it might overwhelm you with regard to the So, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha work together, they intertwine, and then they reciprocate, and then we have to practice them as a set. But I only used Karuna with Mudita, but Mudita also to be used with regard to Metta, Karuna, Metta, Upekkha as well. Because these are aspects of life with regard to Brahma Viharas, not standalone practices. Some people think Metta means Metta, no Karuna. No, yeah, Metta is separate, but when you advance in your Metta, you need Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. You can't go alone. Let's say when you do Karuna, I don't want to practice Metta, Upekkha, Mudita. No. When you advance in your Karuna, you need the support of Metta, Mudita, Upekkha. I think Hanya might have not understood properly these four parts. In Buddhism, Buddhism says you need to grow personally and socially. Every human being has to grow, even other beings, if they can think about, cognize. So the Buddha advises us to grow personally and socially through four qualities. One is to practice loving kindness, one is to practice, second is compassion, third is the one that we are doing today, Mudita, be happy for other people and for oneself, and then to have a balanced mind. Only through these four you will become a successful sentient being personally and socially. Meditation all come in after, because first we have to be good humans, right? Otherwise what Dhamma are we going to practice? So in that teaching, Buddha also says that they reciprocate, they work together. They are not, one is not working alone. You need the support of other three all the time. But also you need to understand, Karuna is more challenging than Metta. Why? You don't need exact people for Metta sometimes. But Karuna, you need to understand the pain of other people. What you call empathy. To empathize someone, you need to know a little bit of what's going on. And Mudita is more challenging than Metta and Karuna. Why? We can feel the pain of others. But Mudita means we have to be happy for other people's achievement. That's a little tough one. Right? We can show we are happy, but internally, are we really happy? And Upekkha is the most challenging and the loftiest, the highest quality in Buddhism that a Buddhist or Arya Savaka can practice. Upekkha means not being driven by happiness and unhappiness. But we are always driven by happiness, unhappiness. Today someone compliments me, you are the best, but tomorrow the person might criticize me, constructively or without constructive aspects. So how should I accept the compliment? Every time I am being complimented, I shrug off, I'm the best one, other guys, they don't do well than me. No. Yeah, thank you for that. But I know this is a process. I might fail. I might not do well. I might do well. That understanding. And whenever someone comments me, criticizes me constructively, I happily listen to that person, accept my faults, and fix my problem, and I will become a better person. I remember one of the Sri Lankan professors was giving a talk. He was later on vice chancellor in a university. He was always pronouncing the word honor. I mean, what is honor? When somebody asked, what is honor? There's no honor, there's honor. That day, that person corrected me. There was no honor. H is silent. Right? Then I started talking to these people. Yes, you have to honor Sangha members, not honor them. Interesting. He's a professor. Later on, he became the vice chancellor. He learned from everybody. So that attitude comes from Upekkha. So then wherever I go, whoever the people I associate, I have no problem. If you want to compliment me, compliment. If you want to criticize me, you criticize me. And I will process through Upekkha. So this is how we look at it.
Let me ask one further. So
follow-up question.
Yeah. For example, on the street, we see someone is asking for money, carrying a little kids. Like, okay, so we feel for them. Then maybe a little bit of karuna. We will try to donate some. But how about how about mudita? At that time, nothing, right? Is there anything arise?
Now you are saying in this situation, someone is asking support.
Right.
What support exactly is that?
I think they will go
money or material things.
I think most anything. I think they will.
Yeah.
Many people on on the street when the car stop, and then they will come.
You are questioning.
I guess.
Where is the mudita part in that situation?
Is there a situation there isn't no mudita?
There is mudita part. Because why should I help that person?
That part is mudita.
No, why should I help that person through mudita? Why should I help that person? Initially, that is karuna, right?
Yes.
So that person is suffering.
Yes.
But why should I support? Because I know there are people who have a better life. I am happy for them, and now I am going to support this person. So mudita is the trigger point to go to karuna at that stage.
I want them to have the better life.
Yeah, I am supporting them. But if they make it a habit of asking money every time, I want to help a family, I'm telling them, you guys should start a business. I give you money as a capital. I can't give you money every day, then you will depend on me. Right? So, because I know there are a lot of families who did well by starting a small business. I give you some money one time, you start a business, and I know you will be happy, you will do well, I'm happy for them. So in that situation, mudita was the trigger point for that person to become compassionate. Because I know there are many other people, rich people, upper middle class, or even, but mudita is working behind the scene.
So if I can go along to praise at someone, if I hear somebody make praises and somebody doing the good act, and then I follow, or would that be like mudita? Someone has doing a good act, good action, wholesome act, and then I see that is something good, so I will go along. Or someone is saying good words, or to make compliments, and then I agree and I hear, and then I will join. Would that be mudita also?
In that case, yes, there is mudita, because you are appreciating that person's things, and you are also going to follow the good things, right? So you are affected by that. So there are many things happening, but initially there is mudita, because you are appreciating. You are appreciating that person's activities. Then on the other hand, that mudita influence you to join that particular maybe group or project or something. Yeah, but mudita is there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, please. Isaru.
Thank you, Bhante. So my question is, say for example, there are people, with Jaylee's question, it's people are doing wholesome acts. But with my question, it's people are doing unwholesome acts, but they're very happy with that unwholesome act. I'm not even saying killing, maybe alcohol. They're very happy with that. And it feels like if I'm not happy for them, is it because I don't have enough mudita for them, or I know that you mentioned that it's supposed to be together with wisdom and should practice it together as a set, but I feel I would ask myself sometimes, do I really lack mudita for not being very happy with what they are doing?
Mudita is not coming for unethical happiness, unethical joy. Buddhism distinguishes happiness, joy based on ethical and unethical grounds. Say for instance, someone is going and having a good time. What is this good time? Can you explain the good time? Doing drugs. Ripple effect is their own happiness. But how can I be happy for someone who is doing drugs? Because Buddhism fundamentally says you can't take drugs that way, right, for those pleasures. So then I can't create mudita for happiness someone or group of people creating through unethical means. That's a problem. But what you can do is, you can do one mudita for them, one kind of mudita. May wisdom arise in you one day to find true happiness, through joy. That would be the nice way to look at it. I mean, you are unwise, that's why you are doing this I mean, driven by, say for instance, alcohol, even narcotics, smoking and vaping, because you are depending on what you call nicotine, right? Other people are depending on alcohol, you guys depending on nicotine. You can't do anything without nicotine, smoking and vaping. So I'm thinking, one day may you be able to be wise in how to enjoy your life in a wiser way, in an ethical way. So that is your mudita. They are not having the true joy, but you are creating joy for them, right? So thinking wise, that's the way. If you are asked to comment, you try to be careful about it. If you are asked to comment, why are you not happy for us? If you are asked that way, you have to be careful. You can't say you guys doing bad things, right? So you got to be careful. They might be upset about it.
They might think I'm really Isa.
No. I mean, I'm not. I don't know what kind of people you're talking. Whether they have a source, whether they have a certain spiritual practice. Yeah. But what if someone is having a social drink? There are some jobs in which they have to have a social drink. I'm not saying that's okay, but at least the people involved in those habits, those activities, they know the level of their drinking. What Buddhism is saying, Buddhism does not say don't drink alcohol. Know your moderation. Ideally speaking, don't drink. Ideally speaking. But we cannot say that, exactly, because society is different. Now the time is different than the Buddha's time. But what we ask, if you drink, know your level. Know your level where you're going to lose your sobriety. You need to be sober, because once you are drunk, you are not mindful. You may kill, then you will lie, then you will misbehave, you will then steal other people's life. Then you do the last thing already. So this drinking will cause you to be unmindful. You don't know what you are doing. But for those people who are engaging in jobs where they have to drink a little bit for social purposes, if they know, as long as they know their limit, that should be fine. But one day, encouraging them to quit that as well. At least. That's a good habit. So, with regard to happiness, someone or group of people making through unethical means, as someone who is following the Buddha's teaching, we can't be happy the way how we are happy for someone who is doing good things. But our happiness is, may you be wise one day to enjoy the proper way to enjoy life. Not the drugs, not the drinking, not doing other bad things to other people, not selling bad things to other people, right? So we hope. That hope has mudita embedded inside. That's the way we have to look at it.
So follow-up question, Bhante, like, say for example, it's not really unwholesome, but you know that in the future it's not very good for that person. It may not be included in the precepts, but you know that much of it would not be very good for the person in the long run, and you feel, it's okay to stop, but they don't want to do it, and then does it mean that there is mudita lacking in that?
With regard to your thinking or their thinking?
No, my thinking.
No, that's why we have to make up our mind. So I think they shouldn't be a problem to us. I mean, for us to make up our own mind. We simply hope, we wish them to deviate from that practice and then to become happy. Yeah, I think wishes can work out. If the curse can work out, why not the wish? Yeah. Remember in a Buddhist story, maybe you were in the class on that day, I was explaining, there was one sex worker who was being used by 4 men. And later on they think the money they gave to her, we have to rob that money from her. Why we should give money? And then they kill that lady in that story. And the moment she was being killed, she was thinking, one day, in one life, I'm going to kill all of you. And she became a cow, and she killed all of them, 4 of them. That's true, because she was being abused by all of them and finally killed her. That's why it became powerful. What if that you have a sincere wish that may you find out the proper joy, the ethical joy, that may impact them, even though they live shorter or longer. That may happen.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Yes.
Bhante, what if jealousy or envy is experienced between or among groups? Like, for example, there's a rivalry between groups, and then you can't experience happiness because another group achieved it. And then what if you belong to this group that cultivates a culture of envy, and like overall, like both groups have animosity towards each other? Like, is practicing mudita by yourself enough, or like how do you practice it on a larger scale?
So don't just become a part of a group physically. Don't become a part of a group mentally. You know why? Because we have to be responsible for everything that they are doing. Actually, it's better not to be a part of a group, just to be independent. But that's happiness. You decide for yourself. But you join the group for a common good thing. But sometimes when you become a part of a group, the management is not always doing the right thing, the wholesome thing. So we cannot approve that. So I think don't become a part of that group mentally. Let them do whatever they want in their own way. You might not be able to stop it, or those people cannot stop it, but because you don't approve every action that they are doing. So I don't know what kind of group you are talking. You want to share something? Like, don't mention the names, exact names. Yeah.
But like,
is it kind of
maybe in my university or my generation, like it's common for us to belong to certain organizations, or
political,
like,
or social, or
any
alumni?
kind of that. But sometimes there's some people just like to hate on another member of a group just because they belong to that group. And I think it's also applicable, like, for example, if you belong to a certain tribe or to a certain like nationality or whatever, like sometimes there's competition or rivalry.
Yeah, definitely the same answer which I gave to Issa. If we are going to wish anybody through greed, hatred, delusion, definitely hatred, delusion, then greed for my group, I'm very greedy, I'm taking my side, I'm biased for my group, I have a preference for my group. So this thinking definitely will lead to biases, preferences, and the reality will be covered. So then mudita will not arise at that point. So what I'm trying to say is that because you are still in the university, if you have a choice to make, are you supposed to make a choice? Or
it's more of a general observation. Like,
well, that's why. So if you are talking for you, what I can give you is, if you can make a choice, then you can make a choice for that. Should I join this group or not? That is for you. But if you want to have an understanding, what are the things happening among these groups as a general observer, what is happening is that they have become groups and they have become rivals, and now they are creating a truckload of hatred, right? And then they don't know what they are doing. Perhaps they are still young to think about life. Those uni students, sometimes they are not very experienced in their life. So the attitude that you can create is that the same thing, because you have no problem with regard to anybody, may wisdom arise in you to find some peaceful communications and all that. especially when someone is in the influence of lineages, nationalities, skin color, religion, politics. This will definitely stop us being good in our life, especially coming to Muditā. And what if that a rival group, there's someone in a rival group is doing really well at you, so the other rival group cannot accept that. Why? Because our enemy, right? He's our enemy, she's our enemy. We can't be happy for that. That is the problem. When you become a group, into an unethical group, you will become unethical too. You can't see the reality. So if somebody is obliged to become a group member at that point, better not to become. If one has to become, then try not to mentally create unnecessary, unethical, thoughts about it. Because we are trying to let people understand how to see the life as it is, right?
Should you change the group or should you detach from it?
Yeah, that's why I said, if the student can make a choice, you opt out, that I don't want to be a part of this group, I just become a normal independent person on campus, right? That's something. It's not that you don't need to say bad about them, you guys are bad, unethical people. You don't say that. What you are going to say is that I want to focus on myself. So you have preventative wisdom now. Preventative wisdom should arise at that point. But I know what's going to happen if I join this group. I better stay away and concentrate myself. If you are already a part of that group, then what did you say just now? Should I
try to change the group?
No, that's the problem. These rival groups don't listen to others other than their ideology. They want someone to fuel their ideology. That's their way, right? So actually changing other people is a very
hard.
It's a hard thing, and not many people like it. Yes, so don't do that. Even family members don't like to be changed too. Why are you going to change me? Just accept me, that's Buddhism. Don't change. But what you can do is you change your attitude with regard to how you're going to work with those people. Don't try to change them in that way. Then they will look at you, they will frown upon you, they will make problems to you. Yeah. So because uni students are intellectually vulnerable, right, till they graduate. When they get out for the work, then they understand what they did. Only when they look for the jobs, they know what happened back in the campus. So just stay away. Don't try to change, but wish them. May you find the proper. You guys are intellectual people. Why can't you think a little broader? But if you think it's not going to work, in many cases, just be silent and do your work, just for your own safety. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we have time. We have almost 30 minutes of time, so we can have more aspects, more questions. We can start with Terry too. You have anything to ask with regard to Muditā and then the rest? Okay, good.
I think my question earlier was very similar to what Isa was talking about. Does it mean that we lack Muditā if we feel sad, or if we don't feel exactly very happy for people whose success or whose happiness is a result of harmful action?
Actually, that's when upekka kicks in. Upekka is neither happy nor unhappy.
Yeah, so
that's when Muditā needs upekka.
we have to wait.
No, we don't have to wait. Now I told you. The full details are coming. A detailed explanation will be coming up, but now you know what to do, right? So, because then don't have to be happy or unhappy. I just be in upekka. But I know what they are doing. Yeah. So, but never be happy for those things. You know that the source of that joy comes from unethical means. Because Buddhism always asks us to look at the difference between ethics and non-ethics, ethical, unethical means. Especially if someone donates $1 million to a Buddhist temple. Buddhist temple might be very happy to accept that donation. I mean, they are not scrutinized by the revenue agencies in the country. But the problem is that that money perhaps come from black money. The donor wants to spend that money. He wants to, what do you call? He wants to purify that money. She wants to purify. Money laundering, because that money has to be somewhere in the legit economy. So he wants to give it to someone, and then it is stabilized in the system in the country. In countries like Canada, if you donate $1,000, you get one fourth as a rebate. Think about you donate $1 million to a registered charity in Canada, then you get a 250 rebate. Actually, the money is black money, right? If the relevant agencies got to know this is black money, they are going to confiscate all the money. So these people, they know, I need to do it as a money laundering thing, right? So the Buddhism says no, that's not going to create good karma, because this is not your money. That's not your money. Other people will not know about it. So earning and ethical living is very important, and being happy for ethical means is a very, very important thing, and not being happy for people who are doing unethical things is also very important. But when we are not happy means we should not create hatred, we create some amount of upekka with regard to that. Otherwise, every time when someone is wrongly earning, we're going to be sad and giving hatred to them. So that will not be a good idea too. As you said, people are becoming happy at the expense of others, right? This is something similar, right? So this money, maybe the system problem, in the whole system, certain people are getting more money. I mean, through unethical ways, right? That's why Buddhism talks about personal suffering, social suffering in the suttas. In order for a country to flourish, the people in the country must look at social suffering. There are suttas about Kutadanta Sutta in the Digha Nikaya. Buddha talks about how to make a poor country rich. Yeah, very interesting suttas. Buddhism is not about meditation. Kutadanta Sutta, Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta about universal kingship. Buddha has talked about all that. That's why I always believe a Buddhist can be born as a poor person but never should die as a poor person. When Buddhists learn how to manage wealth in Buddhism, Pattakama Sutta, Digajanu Vyagabhaja Sutta, Singaluvada Sutta, so many suttas are there for lay people to become rich. Being rich is not a problem, but creating, craving and clinging for the money you are making is a problem. Actually, you don't need to be rich to be creating craving. Think about, you have only 1,000 peso, but you have a huge craving for the 1,000 peso. I'm not going to spend this money, right? That is still craving, right? And remember, in one of the stories, there was one monk who passed away in the Buddha's temple. So now other monks are going to cremate him. And the Buddha said, don't cremate him. He said, he is dead already. We can't let him be in the room. No. In a moment of time, he is coming back to his robe as a moth. The monk really liked his robe. So if you cremate him, that moth also will be killed. So what does it mean? You don't need money to have craving. Even the robe is enough. That's the thing. It's not about money, it's your attitude with regard to anything, even a small thing. Even 2 pesos can give you craving. Forget about 100 million. The Buddhism talks about attitude. That's why when Buddhists understand how to manage finances, life, they will become rich without craving. They will succeed. Now, Muditā is all about success, achievements. Every person should succeed in their life. We should wish everyone to succeed. But that success should not deter me, put me down, because I have my own success. I have my own plan to become successful. So that's what we can see about it. Okay, Jaylee. Before Jaylee asks the question, I want to say, in many Buddhist suttas, especially Chulakamma Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha is saying that the reasons why people live longer, why people have a lot good health, why people are very pretty, handsome, why people are having a lot of money, why some others don't have money, why people are wise, why people are unwise. So the reason why people are unwise is that when they approach Sangha members in their past life, they have never asked Dhamma questions. So now it's your time to get out of that problem. You can ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you know what will happen to you, right? So keep asking questions, and then this will help you to become wise. The sutta mentions that. And with regard to pretty handsome problem, why some people are not pretty handsome? Why they are looking not like that? Because in past life they were angry for the whole day. You can't be angry, huh? Whatever the reason, don't be angry. Next life you'll be not looking good. Who want to be looking bad? Everyone wants to be looking good. So always, if anything happens to you, happily look at it. So that's one thing. And then Issa problem, that means this issue. Why some people are at a time they have all the things, money, education, everything, but they are not recognized by the relevant people. They don't have a reputation. They don't have the validation. But there are some others who don't have a lot of things, but they are highly appreciated. Even they go for a meeting. Why? Because the people who are not validated, the ones who have had a lot of jealousy in the past life. The one who had a lot of mudita, they are validated very easily. You see how many friendship relationships were broken just because one is not validating the other person. Right? Validation. So when you are having mudita, you will be validated without expecting other people's validation. They accept you. Right? That's why some people are very influential, very much accepted in the whole world. But some people have everything, but nobody cares them. Why? Some kind of karma problem in the past life. Having a lot of jealousy, no mudita. So mudita is not a dislike problem, it's a karma problem sometime, right? We have to work on that. Yes, Jerry?
Maybe a still related question. So can we analyze among the metta, karuna and mudita? Is it always like which one comes first or no?
Which one comes?
Yeah, can we say which one always?
The order depends on the situation. Case.
Right?
Okay.
So
if you talk it as a standalone practice, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. But in real life, depending on what you are engaging with, the order might be different.
So if I want something trigger me wanted to do something good, that mudita really takes place already.
If you are under the feeling that you are happy and you want to do something, yes, mudita.
Nothing about happy, but just say, okay, I think I should help. Is there
maybe compassion?
It's
maybe
compassion.
Metta. Yeah, they all are mixed at that point.
Yeah, because I felt mudita is usually with along, because you're happy, then I'm happier. So something along with something, there's something happy. If there's a lot of sad things, then like Bhante said, the mudita is only like, I wish you can have happiness in the future. Then I guess that almost like metta. When
No,
I
metta is a general goodwill. You don't need to specify people in metta. Metta is such an unlimited general view. I think when I discuss with my students in the classroom, some of them said, we already have metta, but only you said the name of that. I mean, I mean, we already have the metta. I mean, all of you, even you may come from Catholic background, you have metta. But the only thing is you did not know it with the name. Now I said the Pali name. Maybe the proper full practice. So I think metta is embedded in our thinking now, because we've been practicing already for many years now. But I think in that particular case, it's not just the metta, it's something that you are going to implement. So mostly it is the urge for you to support could come from mudita, or maybe karuna. Maybe karuna, depending on the situation. If the people are suffering, karuna. If they are not suffering, then mudita, and also some level of karuna.
In the past, Bhante, you mentioned if I practice enough metta, one of the benefit was like sleeping well. How about mudita? If I practice mudita well, is there any sutra stated regarding benefits?
Well, when you can't go to mudita without metta, right? This is a gradual practice in the first place. So when you started the practice with metta, so it carries the same benefit to mudita as well, right? Now, say for instance, if
they work together.
They work together at the same time. Think about there's A is struggling in accepting someone's achievement, right? So cannot even sleep at night, right? There are a lot of emotions are boiling at that point. How to accept? It shouldn't have happened, right? But it happened. The person cannot sleep. But the B is thinking, it happened, I'm so happy for that. Even that other person's achievement can support I mean, if that was you to sleep happily, because that was such a good thing. I'm so happy for that, because your heart is so happy, you can sleep well. Mudita itself supports the good sleep, but definitely you can't come to mudita without some amount of practice, some metta. So metta's benefits are going into extending onto the other three Brahma Viharas as well, by default, because we cannot go to mudita without metta initially. But if you cannot practice mudita, then only you cannot sleep well at that point, because then you haven't processed it, right? The people who are giving jealousy, they have not processed it properly. It's like a faulty product. You can't sell it in the main store. You have to store in a what kind of store you can, you go to two stores. One store is selling the good products, and there's another store, the same product, but they are faulty ones. They sell it at a cheaper price, right? Then that means I understand someone who cannot process someone's achievement will become that faulty product, because the situation has not been processed properly with the reality, but the other person has seemingly processed it properly, right? That's how we look at it. So definitely then what happened if it was not processed properly, it can affect that person everywhere. If you buy a cheaper product, faulty product, it will not last longer, right? It's like you go to a dollar store and buy something, I mean, it won't last, right? If you want to buy a good one, you have to go for a good place, right? So if you had not processed someone's achievement, it can bother your sleep, impair your sleep, your thinking habits, and all that.
Thank you.
Definitely it affects, but you will get the same results, just like sleeping well and then waking up well, not seeing nightmares, right? All that with mudita as well, because you started from metta. Yes. Alan? Yes, over to him.
Actually, I have the same question as Ivy, but maybe just a follow-up. Like if you try to be happy for someone, but it kind of feels like force, is it still mudita?
Can you explain to me that
Like it's
forceful
it
nature?
feels like you're forcing yourself to do it.
Just
Not-
because?
Just because you
Just because you learned today
Yeah.
Muditā, right?
or something. Yeah, that's you know that's the right thing to do, right?
Okay. So that's yeah. Yeah. That's a very good observation. Actually, when we learn Muditā, then we know if the achievement is legit, if it is legit, then Muditā must come from us. Forceful nature or natural nature going to be invalid at that point. That is our problem in practicing Muditā. But if the achievement is legit, Muditā must come. If Muditā doesn't come, then it is our problem. It is my own problem, my perception problem, my understanding problem, my way of looking at the reality is problem. So, yeah, if achievement is not legit, definitely we might be hesitant to do it. If it is legit, yes. Think about you are voting for a certain person to be the person in the country, but that person was not appointed. Majority voted for the other person. Now what to do? The politician might say, from today, the people who didn't vote for me also my people that I want to support. But you voted only for that person. How would you look at it? Now you have to accept. There was an election. Many voted for that person. I have to accept. It is my country. Although the person I didn't like was appointed, it's my country. And 5 years term, 4 years term, I expect that you do the right thing for the country. Achievement is legit. If it is so, then I have to find out why I cannot give Muditā naturally. Why I have to struggle in my Muditā. Maybe I don't understand Muditā properly. Maybe I don't understand that legit nature of that achievement. Maybe I have another problem. I have to figure it out. Sorry.
I want to.
Okay, maybe you can pass this to. Yes.
Expounding on that, for example, you talked about politics or elections, and this particular candidate won, and you know for a fact that that candidate is corrupt. For example, he was already prosecuted before for a crime, and he still won. So how do we process Muditā on that? You know for a fact that
how about your choices now? How many choices you may have in the election? One candidate is corrupted, was prosecuted, but then was he rehabilitated? Was that person rehabilitated within the jurisprudence? That's something, because we have to be compassionate for the rehabilitated people. That's why there is a judiciary, and they send them to prison, and they have to be because Buddhists have to be compassionate. Buddhists have to trust in the decisions of the rehabilitation.
Okay.
Right? We don't just think out of our thinking, go to thinking violence for them. If the person is rehabilitated properly, if the person admitted, now he or she is going to make a new set of promises, then there is some room for us to believe that person, maybe even to go for the vote.
Okay, so
it has opportunity.
Trust.
But if trust. If nothing has been happened, that prosecution was not happened properly and all that, then you have a choice to opt out.
Okay.
Yeah. So so there are options for that.
Okay. So what if you're not really happy about that because
That person.
yes.
That's why there are other candidates in the election, right?
So move on. Just
There are other candidates too, right? So we have choices to make. Are there people who are not sometime voting? There are some people who go to the polling station. They cross out the bailing paper. What do you call? put in papers, right? Some people, but it's better to vote. Citizens, that's a responsibility of a citizen, law-abiding citizen. So that's why there are other candidates. But we don't know how clean are they. That's a different question. Cleanliness with regard to politics is a very debatable question. But still, there are rooms. If the person was prosecuted and now clear from the charges and apparently was rehabilitated, then we trust. Because Buddha even decriminalized a lot of people, starting from Devadatta. Devadatta killed 999 people. If you compare Devadatta to a gangster in any country, Devadatta is more heinous. Definitely. More terrible, more cruel. 999 people he killed every human being just to get one finger. Imagine, what kind of a crazy idea is that? He get only one finger out of one person. That is killing. He wants to make a garland of fingers to give to his teacher. I think some of you might know the story, right? Angulimala was a man, as a student during the Buddha's time. At that time in India, there was an Ivy League school like Oxford, Cambridge, something like that. We call it Takkasila. What is it called? Takkasil long A. This was located in modern Afghanistan. That part was India at that time. That was a very interesting region near Pakistan area. Very educated people were living there at that time. So Angulimala's name was Ahinsaka. It was not his name, Angulimala. Ahinsaka. He was the top student in the class, in that batch. But he was very, very smart, genius. Other students become very jealous about Muditā problem. See, Muditā issue. It came to him. Now the problem is, Ahinsaka was a good student, the best one, but others got into jealousy. Maybe they might think the professor or teacher might be assessing the assessments based on his level, so that affects us. Does it happen in today's world? When there's a top student in a class, when the teacher, professor gets to see that essay in the first place, and the rest of the essays will be perhaps marked having a certain assumption about the quality of that paper, because one student outsmart all the other students. It might be or it might not be. Different teachers take it differently, but generally professor has to be unbiased, has to look at every paper in their own strength. So other students fabricated a lie. What was the lie? They told the teacher, this guy Ahinsaka, you think he's the smartest, he is having a secret, he is scandaling with your wife behind the scene, so watch out for him. And then teacher didn't believe. So many students approach him as a group by group. They were also very cunning. These other students, by group they approach, and then teacher came to a point, okay, that means he is engaging in this activity, so I'm going to teach him a big lesson. I'm going to ask him, because every student must pay back something we call tribute at that time. At the end of the graduation, every student has to pay something like a tribute. I am going to talk to him, teacher thought, and teacher called him. Teacher said, you're going to give me an early tribute, not like other students, because you are too smart. So your tribute is, you have to offer me a garland, but not flower garland, finger garland. Then he asked, what is that? He said, I need a garland from you that has 1,000 fingers. You know you have to kill people, but you're going to get one finger out of one person. That means you have to kill 1,000 people. He was intellectually very vulnerable. He didn't know ethics in life at that point. He was only looking at the subjects, materials and all that. So what happened? He said, okay, I'm going to give that to you. And he started killing people. He was a brigand on a highway. Every time someone goes on that way, stop and kill. He killed 999 people. He was short of one finger. Then his mother overheard. Now this criminal came into a point, a very big problem to the whole state, Kosala state. The king told one day, okay, we have to get him, otherwise he's killing all these people. I'm going to go there with special forces to take him. So mother, Angulimala's mother overheard this, Ahinsaka's mother. Okay, today my son will be killed by the king and his special forces, so definitely I have to go earlier and then to talk to my son, save him. And the Buddha saw something on that day, early morning. If now Angulimala doesn't care about anybody, what he wants is one finger. He's too vulnerable intellectually because of too much studies. So definitely today, by the end of today, he's going to kill his own mother. But I know he can be an arahant. I have to go earlier. So that day, he went earlier. Then Angulimala was very happy. A Buddhist monk cannot even run, so he's a target today. And then Angulimala came near the Buddha and said, monk, stop over there, right over there. He said, I have stopped. You are the one who is running. But this Angulimala, Ahinsaka, although he was intellectually vulnerable, he had some wisdom. He thought about, monks don't lie. He didn't know this is Buddha. Maybe what he is saying is true. He was thinking about existence, samsara. Then he dropped all the weapons and all that. He wanted to follow the Buddha at that point. Then what happened? The Buddha brought him to temple, Jethavarama, because Savatthi is a part of Kosala state, and then he ordained him. Angulimala became an arahant. That day afternoon, the king Kosala and all the forces came to the temple just to say greetings, do greetings to Buddha. And Buddha asked, King, where are you going today with all these forces? Today we are going to catch that criminal, Angulimala. That's why I'm going over there. I just want to say hi to you because the temple is on the way. Then the Buddha asked, what if Angulimala became a monk, enlightened monk? Would you respect just like how you respected other monks? I said, yes, why not? Okay, then behind me is Angulimala. He was like very scared. Who? Is that Angulimala? Yes, an enlightened arahant. Right? So that means Buddha believed rehabilitation. That means Buddhism is for everybody. For the one who is impeccable in the spiritual practice, for the one who messed up in one's own life. But we don't ask people to mess up. Try not to be messed up. Come early. Better, When you come early, you can eat well. You can enjoy life well. But if you come late, there are repercussions, There's a penalty, right, for every late thing, right? Penalties. So, yes, politicians, I hope that this would be the way to believe trust. We can have one more question, one or two questions, and then we will wrap this up. Muditā, jealousy and all that, you can ask thing. Yeah, please.
So if we see someone who we think lacks mudita, what is the best way to help them? I mean, you mentioned earlier we cannot change someone, but how can
no,
we
it's difficult to change. I mean, not difficult. Cannot, difficult. Yeah, it's a tedious process. Okay, it depends on the person, the relationship we have to that person, and the situation that we are engaging with that person. If you tell me a situation, then I can think about a very clear answer for that. We may meet a lot of people who have jealousy, but the problem is how to approach. Maybe it might go wrong at a certain point. If you tell me a certain situation, then I can tell you a very specific answer for that.
Maybe someone very close to you.
Someone very close. Okay, then you want to say what kind of jealousy is that too? What kind of nature?
Like they are not very happy with when others are successful, or when others are happy with their life. They would
Okay.
always think, "No, this is wrong. It's wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very important thing that we all go through sometimes. When we are very close to people, sometimes we are not working with the truth, reality. Sometimes we are only working with that intimacy part only. The thing is that the Buddha always asks us to have a bunch of kalyana mittas. The best kalyana mitta is your partner. The Buddha had said that in many suttas. The most important sutta for that is Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita's engagement. I think Patama Samajivi Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, 4th section. Nakula Mata, Nakula Pita as a couple. They have lived together for 60 years. In their, the Buddha went to, actually Buddha is a friend of them. They were living in Sunsumaragiri, Bagga state, I think. Sunsumaragiri. Sunsumara is crocodile. There's a name, why the name came into that city. Sunsumara crocodile. When the city was built, there was a crocodile made a cry. So they put the name of the city as Sunsumaragiri. Right, in that way. It's like the Australian city called Badagini. Badagini is a Sri Lankan name. I am hungry. The workers, they say, some of the Sri Lankan workers went to Australia. They were saying, we are hungry, hungry, hungry. Then later on, the Sri Lankan name for hunger became the name of the city, Badagini city. Very interesting. So anyway, the Buddha was living in that city in that time. He went to see this couple. Maybe they are 70 plus. Actually, the relationship that Buddha had with this couple was that for 500 lifetime, they were Buddha's mother, father. So they are pretty close. In this life, it was not. So when the Buddha went to this house, because they were his parents before Suddhodana and Mahamaya, Nakula Mata came, and then they are Sotapannas also. They are Sotapanna, the couple. A Sotapanna couple. Don't have to become a monk or nun. And then Nakula Pita approached the Buddha and told him, Bhante, we have been together for 40 over years. Ever since I brought her to my house, I had no single thought about another woman. And I want to be reborn with this person in my next life. So he said that. And then Nakula Mata also came in and she said the same thing. Ever since I was married to this man, I never had even one single thought about another man. What kind of an ideal couple to get to that level. I mean, you can fake, but within inside, I also want to be reborn with him. The Buddha said, no problem. As long as you cultivate 4 qualities together, you can be reborn together. What are the qualities? Saddha, Sila, Chaga, Panya. Trust, discipline, and then generosity means compromises, and then Panya. But Buddha added another Pali name for that. This is not normal Saddha, normal Sila, normal Chaga, no. Sama Saddha, Sama Sila, Sama Chaga, Sama Panya. What does Sama mean? Equal. That means if you are looking for a relationship, I mean young people, then you have to, you should not become disillusioned just because of the spark you are getting from the other person. Spark can be wrong. Spark might be necessary at the basic level. Look for whether the trust is equal, because trust is a big issue in today's world. Check all the phones and all that, like unnecessary insecure problems in today's world, right? So trust has to be equal. Second is Sila, equal morality, discipline. What is the morality for a couple? To take 8 precepts? No. The morality for a couple is not cheating, right? That's their morality in the first place. Then talk about 5 precepts, 8 precepts. Not cheating. Now they have not even cheated emotionally, this couple. And then chaga means compromises, sacrifices, compromises, equal. Generosity has to become a group mentality at that point. Not that husband is spending more and wife is very stingy, or the other way around. The wife is very generous and the husband is very stingy. That kind of relationship might not work well. You might stay together, but your emotions are not stable. And wisdom, what is the wisdom for a couple? To attain Nibbana? That is a higher goal. The wisdom for a couple is to be able to sit down, talk together, talk it out, solve together, plan together, this kind of attitude. In today's world, people don't like to accommodate these things. Only it's I, me, myself. That's my money, it's not your money. This is the argument. Even for a small thing, they cannot accommodate. Right? So, the thing is that then the Buddha said they are going to be reborn in another life together. So the thing that I was trying to say with regard to changing means that it depends on the relationship. That's why you have to be surrounded, you have to create relationships where you can fulfill these equal qualities in the first place. Let's say you miss that already. Somebody missed that. At that point, perhaps talking nicely, kindly to the person, this is not the way we have to think. We have to change the way how we think. So you can approach the person in a nice, kind way at a good time. But if you tolerate that idea, your partner will become very toxic and very visceral at a certain point, because he or she cannot take anything. Every time he sees something, he or she is making a big problem that day. That affects you too. You have mudita, that one doesn't have mudita. So then, but you are okay, but that person not okay. You are not living alone. You have to live with other person. So it affects you, because that person eats with jealousy. That person sleeps with jealousy. It affects you. So look for a good time. Then try to have a good conversation about it, if possible.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Oh, you taking the last question. Interesting, huh? I was going to end the Q&A.
It's difficult to think of a question because
yes. That's what happens when you're thinking in silence.
Yeah, the question has been asked already. What I'm thinking. So this one is a bit
take it closer.
Circumstantial. Yeah. Circumstantial. What if can I have mudita to a person who have achieved something that he doesn't like?
Can I have mudita for someone who has achieved
something that he doesn't like?
Okay, very interesting. Such as,
for example, when a man was forced to take a course, example, medicine, and he graduated in medicine, but he actually wanted to become an artist.
Okay, so that was not his choice or her choice.
But he achieved it.
Okay.
He successfully achieved it.
Yes.
During graduation. Could I have mudita for him achieving that?
Okay, that's a very complex situation. As I said to Alan, achievement is legit, right? He or she was elected to med school. It's a very big achievement, right? So you're going to be happy for that. But now you understand on a secondary level, that this is not what he or she wants. Then maybe you can support by having a discussion, conversation. If he or she, maybe his idea is an illusion. Then you can be a counselor if that person believes you, because why you want to be an artist, right? If that is not what he is meant to be, people make wrong choices in their life. Everybody, they make wrong choices. So sometimes your friend may not understand that career choice properly. But if you think he or she can do really well being an artist, then at that point you can just engage in a conversation with regard to that. You can support that idea. But if he is kind of oversighted about it, Perhaps you can encourage. There are a lot of people like that who got into a interesting place, but the person doesn't know how to do. And what if that is your choice, you do what? No, if you someone who's experienced more than him or her, no, this is a good choice, go for it, grab the opportunity, don't miss it out, you will never get it again. So if you had not supported like that, when will he or she get in that encouragement? Then after 10-20 years, she will tell you, you were not a good friend to me, you did not give me the proper advice, right? It's like there is a Sri Lankan story, I don't know whether it is true or not. The son was stealing things from other people, right? And then finally the son became a very, very famous thief, and then he was sentenced to the death sentence that time. Then the mother came to see him. Then when the mother came to the prison, he was attacking the mother. If you had told me this was bad, I would have not continued this thing. That means just because your friendship, don't stop giving that proper advice. Our friend might not accept at that time, but later on they will appreciate you a lot. So it depends how it works. So look at whether if that is the real best choice or not, and then go with it. But initially be happy for that med school selection. Yes, Muditā, definitely. Yeah. All right, so then at this point we're going to, I think time is okay for us to, give it to me, to wrap this up. So first what I'm going to do is that may all the good karmas we be making through this Q&A session be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.